What's going on, everybody? I'm Drawing Chaos, and welcome back to Satisfactory. Why are there birds in my house? Anywho, so today marks a glorious day, because today we are going to be focusing on our Endgame factory. That's right, the plan is to make a factory so glorious, it puts everything else I've made to shame. So if you're excited for that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But first, let's showcase a little bit of what we've done before, so you can get an idea of where we're going into the future. All right, let's start off with a quick recap of where we are in the world. We have this right here, which is the clock tower. I have nicknamed that, I wonder why. Because this is producing every item in the game that I need to build with. That's right, I got iron plates, rods, all this stuff. Everything is going into my emotional depots, so that I can build whatever I need, including some late game items as well. Next up, we need to travel all the way over here into the wonderful desert area with the nice little oasis and everything like that, so we can see a few little builds that we have. This right here is producing me, oh crap, what is in here? Oh right, my nuclear pasta. Now granted, I do need nuclear pasta for endgame build, but that is not what that is for. This right here is producing it so I can make the biggest meme of power in existence. Next up, the biggest question of all. How am I going to be powering my endgame build? Well, that right here is the biggest meme of Satisfactory. My nuclear power plant that is producing plutonium, as well as it's producing uranium, plutonium, and fixonium. That's right, clean energy. And speaking of how clean this is, you got to see this. So I'm gonna fly all the way up there. Actually, I can probably go to one right over here and drop down. This right here is 737.8 gigawatts of power. That's insane. That's crazy. And look at how clean that line is. That is not moving whatsoever. We are producing all this power with no problem. And some of you might be wondering, what the hell is this biohazard symbol in the sky? Well, I had a little decoration for fun and, you know, kind of just didn't put anything about it. But if you want me to make a video on how I made that, let me know down in the comments section. It's just kind of there for funsies, nothing special. Now for the real question, where are we planning to build this wonderful, beautiful endgame factory? We have so many places to choose from. As you can see right there in the original biome, I actually have my Fixmas stuff, so we can't build it there. In terms of the crater lake, or whatever you want to call it, the blue crater, I have my fuel for my drone ports, so definitely not going to build it there. Of course, the Spire Coast does have our beautiful and wonderful chain lightning, so we're not going to do it there. The desert has been taken up by a little bit of extra stuff for our nuclear power plant, so I don't want to use there. And then, of course, we have our giant nuclear power plant, which looks great at a distance, especially with that giant biohazard symbol right on the top. So I definitely can't use there. The forest is not big enough. We have the tower over here, so that just leaves us a few options. Now, we do have the Golden Coast. I do have my wonderful house over there on Paradise Island, which is also my spawn point. So I'm not too sure I want to put it there. We, of course, have the Rocky Desert, which has plenty of space, but I don't think it has the aesthetics that I'm looking for. No, I think there's one place and one place only. I have never built, not in one single playthrough, have I made anything for the Red Forest. Isn't that crazy? Nothing. Well, maybe a house, but that really didn't count because it was kind of small and whatnot. But what if I built my endgame factory in this amazing area? Now, the only problem is it's filled with a lot of trees. A lot of trees. But of course, we have an itch for that. See, here's the thing. Get out of here. Let's go into here. And if I type in Nobelisk, I have automated cluster Nobilis and nuke Nobilis. So essentially, I can just carpet bomb this whole area and make everything that I want. See this beautiful waterfall right here over this giant abyss? That's it. That is the, I don't want to say the front, but it's definitely going to have a good side because I'll be able to see it from my house. I'll be able to see my Fixmas factory and a lot of good things. But this is definitely where I want the start of it to be. But to do that, I'm going to need a couple of explosives. Yep, that's the reason why I built the armory, so that I can have everything I need. So let's go to Nobelisks. We're going to grab a cluster of clusters and, of course, a bunch of nukes. And because nukes are more fun, we will start with those. So all you got to do to clear some space is shuck it over and let her rip. Ooh, that is fun. Can I get that big tree over there? Yeah, that is glorious. This makes the armory so much worth it. It's so much fun. See, the funny part is, if all of us were on this deserted planet and we were just building over here, eventually we would get ourselves a bunch of like Nobelisks and everything and just terraform the entire region. Because let's face it, as much fun as it is to build factories, the factory still needs to grow. And sometimes it needs room to grow. Oh, that is fun. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing entertainment. Oh god, oh god, not a good area, not a good area. Okay, now it's a good area. All right, so enough playing around. I'm gonna kind of get a nice framework started to try to figure out exactly where I'm gonna start building and how to get some of the stuff with the landscape that I have, which is gonna be really annoying. So it'll be great if I just do a little skip. What do you think? I think it'll depend on the top. I was building something out, trying to see if I can get a very unique shape. And the nice part about this is it actually has a little space in between. Now, why is that good? Well, if I go into organization, I can get like a large billboard, aim it at here. Oh, and rotate it 90 degrees, right? Go down, something like this. Now it'll be connected to there, and it'll actually look like it's holding up. Even more, I can kind of move it, hold Alt. I can kind of move it just slightly. And then I can put some light on it. And then the question is, what color do we have? Select location or icon or whatever. Other. And no, monochromatic. Backgrounds? Backgrounds. I knew I would figure it out eventually. Delete the text. And then all we have to do is pick the color. Let us go for a nice blue. There we go. 180. 3, not glossy. And then we'll copy this one. Paste, paste, paste. Then it has a nice little glow up at the edge, which is really cool. But this is not the final shape. It could be different. I don't know. Although I wish my little guys kind of flew a little higher than that, but hey, it's not touching. So here we go. This is like the entranceway, and then I was playing with a difference of things. So like with this rock in the way, this one will be curved. Maybe another curve going the other way, changing up the heights. But this is the general basis of it. Now the other question is, now that I got this going, where do I bring in the materials? Now, originally we did have something like this, and it used up so much material bringing this in, but this is by far the best way to do it. Because what this does is this just brings everything in pretty much straight across. Throughput is perfect. Now the other option means I have to go all the way back to my hub. And now that I'm back at the hub, I can take this over here and show you, and it's gone. Yeah, I used to have a major medium base built right here. Had a space elevator and everything. It was really neat. But it's gone. It's gone, never to be seen from again. What happened to it? I blew it the hell up. Right, guys? Right. Yeah, so it's gone, but this was the original base that I had, where I had trucks, I had trains, I had everything you could possibly want. So the question is, do I do a combination of 3 for the end base, or do I just stick with what thing that works? And I'm thinking, all right, hear me out on this one. We do the same thing that we did over here. Combination of all 3. Here we go. This is a better save file so we can actually see it. Say hello to my medium mid-tier base. As you can see, there's a lot different in this one, because this is the big boy that I had. Now, the thing I did like about this was having the trains, because the movement of the trains across the map was pretty nice. The problem was putting all the infrastructure to get all the trains up and running, not to mention I had to actually make train stations. So I gotta get good at that eventually, so I might as well put it in there. Trucks, on the other hand, I don't think I'll be using trucks. Trucks are kind of, what's the word? They suck. They suck. You guys suck. You're great for small bases, but like for a big one like this, it's a no bueno. So we're not using trucks. But because we have so much fuel for the drones, we're going to be using a lot of drones as well for all the stuff that is really hard to get to. So here's the real question. What do we need? And to answer that question, we need the space elevator. So let me rebuild it up here. And as you can see in the top right, we need 1,000 nuclear pasta. 1,000... Wait, I wonder if it actually lets me see it in here. We need 1,000... Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's listen to this. Wait a minute. Is it going to actually move that thing up in the sky? Oh, this is interesting. Or is it redirecting it? Is it moving in the sky, or is the thing moving? I don't know. That did not look like it actually hit the right area. But who cares? All right. So hello, space elevator. We need 1,000 nuclear pasta. We need 1,000 biochemical sculptures, 256 AI expansion servers, and 200 ballistic warp drives. Now to make these, we need 4 different machines. Machine number 1 is our particle accelerator to make the nuclear pasta. Now we've done that before. That is not special. It's just annoying with the amount of copper powder. I want to produce 10 per minute. And even if I up this to 250%, that gets me 1.25. So if I take 10, divide that by 1.25, I need 8 of these. So 8 of those just for one piece. Let's check this little guy out right here. AI expansion servers. This makes 4 per minute. If I up this to 250%, that is 10 per minute. I need 1 machine, which needs some amazing parts. Magnetic fuel generators, not too bad. Neural quantum processor. Oh boy. Superposition oscillator, 10 per minute. That is insane. And excited photonic matter, not even a problem. So that is awesome. I only need 1 machine just to make this up and running. And let's go over to the blender, because this one is biochemical sculpture. If I up this to 250%, that means I need 2 machines, because I also wanted to make 10 per minute, because this is going to be 1,000. Now the biggest thing for this is the assembly director system, which of course needs some really good parts as well. Trigons, not really too bad. Water, it's easy, no problem. And then probably the most ridiculous one ever, ballistic warp drive. And if we up this as well, I can make 2.5, which means I need 4 of these. Yep, to make 10 per minute. Do I need 10 per minute? No, but that's what I want. Thermal propulsion rocket is going to be insanely difficult. More superposition oscillators, so at least I can combine those together. Singularity cells, which take nuclear pasta. That's amazing. And dark matter crystals. So yes, these little guys right here are gonna be just everything that I want to do. Now I am tempted, and I need to know in the comment section down below and what you guys think. Should I use the rest of my Sommer sloops to up these productions, making it so that I need less productions to make this possible? Or do you want me to save them for something else? Maybe at the end when I can get tickets and go crazy and nuts with everything? Who knows? So with all that being said, it's time to delete some stuff, because what I want is to figure out where in this base I want the space elevator to be. Is it going to be in the centerpiece right here? Where is it going to be attached to? Because that's going to decide on where I'm going to start everything. And then do I lower it down, have it in the front? I don't know. All right, give me a minute and I will figure all this out. And I've done it. Check it out. Now, this is not the final version. At least I don't feel like it's the final version. It's just what I temporarily have at the moment. I want to make this place like look better at the very end, do like a final like composite thing, go over it, you know, fix up what needs to be fixed up, prune what needs to be pruned, stuff like that. But overall, I think this is a good relative start. It gives me a good like beginning point to kind of showcase what we can do. Keep in the stuff that like looks good, like this nice little waterfall and all that kind of stuff. Gives me room down here, of course, and I mean that was the other thing I was looking at too. Like I have all this room down here, so I can change the height variation when I actually start building everything. So I think this is a good place to stop it off at. I don't want this video to be too long, just a nice little starting point, give you guys the plan and kind of figure out where we're gonna be at. So that is it. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're excited about what's about to come, let me know, because it's only going to get better. Oh, there. And then I put this here so, you know, I could just whee, fall to my doom at any time. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's like my Spartan kick hole where I can just kick people down and, you know, just send them to the abyss. Nice. All right. I'm out. Peace.